Oh, hello, 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 my friends. Scotty J here, back again with another episode of 9 Hours, 9 Persons, and 9 Doors. On our last episode, we explored the operating room with Clover and Seven. After meeting up with the gang and Ace, we split up with Ace, Seven, and Clover heading into Door 3, and the rest of us exploring what would end up being Doors 1, 6, and eventually Door 2. While the gang was exploring Door 3, they found Snake's corpse, which has left us with a distraught Clover, and us looking for which door we'll take on next. We've all thrown papers in the middle, so let's continue on from there, shall we? All right. There were 7 of them, all told. They were written on paper pulled from Junpei's notebook, and each one bore a code name and a door. Why they decided to vote that way? They decided it wasn't fair to simply ask everyone at once. That would allow people to force others to go through certain doors. Well, that wasn't the only reason. Junpei had proposed the voting system, and he had a plan. It wasn't a plan he wanted anyone catching wind of, however, so he did his best to act as calm as he began to read each piece of paper. The first one read, Ace requests Door 1. Yes, I do. Would you like me to explain why? No, we don't have time for that. Sorry. Let's keep going. He opened the second one. Next is Santa. He wants Door 6. Yeah, that's what I wrote. Junpei continued with the third, fourth, and fifth pieces of paper. Clover wants 1, Lotus wants 2, and 7 also wants 2. Wait a minute. There's no way I'm going anywhere with the Elephant Man. No, there'd be no point to voting this way if we let people change their choices because of stuff like that. But... Oh, just give it up, Lotus. It's not like I want to hang out with some exhibitionist grandma. I am not an exhibitionist. I'm wearing clothes. Barely. So? Last I checked, that's not a crime. Maybe, but what about common decency? Nobody wants to have to look at a chick who looks like a half-naked raisin. Ah! I am going to kill you! Lotus's hair flared out like the mane of an angry lion, and she roared with a voice that shook the walls. With some difficulty, Ace managed to restrain her. Junpei, read the rest! Oh, right. Junpei tore his eyes away and looked down at the 6th piece of paper. He opened it. June wants Door 6. Yes, I don't really have a reason. I just felt like it. All the papers, save Junpei's, had been read. He did some quick calculations in his head. People requested Door 1 were Ace and Clover. This was the door on A deck, by the way. People who requested Door 2 were 7 and Lotus. This was the door on the bottom deck that could be reached by taking the elevator to the bottom of the ship. Oh boy. And the people who requested Door 6 were Santa and June. This was the door on E deck. Oh boy. And could be reached by taking the elevator near the central staircase. It took him less than a second to run the numbers. He opened the 7th piece of paper and spoke. Okay, the last one is mine, and I want to go through door... So, last time we went through door 6, and when we got out of there, we had 7 and Lotus tell us that Clover had ran away, effectively. So, between that and our run-in with Clover in the last operating room, where she said that she thinks she might be the next one to die, I think we should maybe stick with Clover this time. So let's go through door number 1. My choice is door 1. Santa was unconvinced. Hey, wait a minute there. You cheating? Cheating? I'm asking if you changed your number after you heard what doors we wanted. How could I do that? I wrote it down on the paper earlier. Let me see that. Junpei shrugged and handed it to her. Santa examined it furiously. The others peered at it as well. As they did, Junpei quickly slipped the piece of paper he'd been hiding into his pocket. Although he'd never know it now, Santa had been justified in his suspicions. Junpei had switched the papers. He had prepared 3 pieces of paper for doors 1, 2, and 6, and put the paper with door 6 into the pot. He put a small mark on it so that he would know which one was his. He put the paper that said door 1 in his left hand, and the paper that read door 2 in his right. When the drawing began, he saw to it that he drew last. The rest was easy. If he wanted to go through door 1, he'd use his left hand, and his right hand if he wanted door 2. Of course, if he wanted door 6, that would be simple. All he needed to do was switch nothing, and say that 6 had been what he wanted all along. Well, what does it say? He fought the urge to smirk. You got lucky. Santa snorted and tossed the paper aside, frustrated. Very well. We've decided who will go through door 1. It'll be Clover, Junpei, and myself. 1 plus 4 plus 5 equals 10. 1 plus 0 equals 1. Our only problem is the 2 remaining teams. June and I want door 6. Lotus and I want door 2. Oh, that's not good. You can't open either of these doors with only 2 people. Fine. 7 will go through door 6. 3 plus 6 plus 7 plus 8 equals 24. 2 plus 4 equals 6. Sure thing. I didn't really want to have to go through door 2 anyway. Besides, if we got a younger girl with us, it'll lower the average age. Right, June? Yeah, well, June was at a loss for words. Lotus, however, was not. That pig. You just wait and see. Her eyes were the eyes of a woman prepared to kill. A shiver ran down Junpei's spine. Even after they separated at the staircase, Lotus was still muttering angrily to herself. Circumstances dictated that Junpei and June would have to part ways again, but this time it didn't sting quite so much. After all, he knew he would see her again. Till we find the 9 door, 0 ain't gonna split us up. We might get separated for a little while, but we'll see each other again. Otherwise, we can't open door 9. That's how the nonary game works. Junpei, Ace, and Clover headed towards A deck. They took out the Earth key and opened the door to the left. It opened, and they walked through. It was just as Santa and Lotus had said. At the end of the hallway sat a door with a large red 1 upon it. A numbered door. To the left of it, bolted to the wall, was the red. Ace went first and waved his wrist over the scanner panel. Junpei was next. Finally, listlessly, Clover lifted her arm. She leaned towards the scanner panel. The third asterisk clinged to life, shining brightly. Ace took hold of the lever. He took a deep breath and turned to Junpei and Clover. Are you ready? Shall I pull it? Yeah, any time. Clover said nothing. She nodded, a little more than a lethargic twitch of the head. Very well then, let's go. 3, 2, 1. The door opened. They stumbled into the room. Frantically, Junpei scanned the room. His eyes stopped on the device that would determine whether they lived or died. There it is! Over there! Next to the door they'd come through was the dead. As one, they ran to it. They put their hands over it as if they were fighting for it. It stopped. Yes, it did. Junpei could feel his heart pounding against the inside of his ribs. Ace and Clover were breathing hard and fast. It was the 3rd time they'd been through this process, but they had yet to grow accustomed to it. Not that Junpei wanted to. He planned to finish this game long before he had the chance to let imminent death become commonplace. Junpei looked around again, this time more slowly. There was another door, different from the one they'd entered through. He took hold of the knob and easily, gently pulled it open. So this is the wheelhouse? He closed the door again and turned to Ace and Clover. He fixed each in turn with a meaningful stare, then spoke. Ace, you investigate the wheelhouse next door. Very well. Clover, you're in charge of this room. Oh, say something. Oh, okay, I will. All right then, let's get started. Seek a way out. All right, let's roll. Whew, all right, well, welcome to the chart room and the wheelhouse room. Nothing too crazy from our overhead view. It looks like 2 desks and some chairs. And that's all we got. Let's get started. Hey, we got a desk. Oh, look at these. Stack of nautical charts. Sweet. All right. Anything else on the desk? I guess this is probably for reading the maps or something. Yeah, they probably spread the map out here and then decide the route. A light. Looks kind of like a wilted flower. A chair. A chair. Clover isn't talking much. Well, I guess that's understandable. I mean, she's been through a lot. Really, it's more surprising that she's still together enough to talk at all. True. Hey, what we got up here? The shelves are lined with books. Let's see what's in this blue one. Oh, there's something written on it. Ship's log. Huh? Ship's log, eh? New material's been added to the file screen. Oh, cool. Oh, there's a wooden box. Maybe a case for letters? Hey, Clover, do you ever write letters? Nothing. The left drawer. Let's have a look. Ah, there's nothing. Oh, how about the right drawer? Let's have a look. Ah, still nothing. Oh, hey, the middle drawer has a pocket watch. Nice. That's a pocket watch. She hadn't been saying much, and she just keeps looking at the floor. She seems kind of sad. Understandable. A voice he hadn't expected startled Junpei from his examination of the pocket watch. Oh, a pocket watch. Might I take a look at it? He spun around to find Ace standing in the doorway. Junpei shrugged and handed him the pocket watch. Hey man, what are you doing over in this room? Oh, I just thought I'd come check up on the two of you. Is there a problem? Yeah, there is. No, there's not really a problem, I guess. Whatever, man. Well, not a problem, but... Junpei looked desperately around the room, anywhere but at Ace, trying to find a convincing reason to dismiss him. Ace opened his mouth and then took another look at Junpei and shut it again. A small smirk appeared on his face. Oh, I see. Of course. He looked Junpei over, then glanced at Clover. Oh, I apologize for the intrusion. Well, best of luck. Ace gave Junpei a knowing pat on the shoulder and left. For no reason he could fathom, Junpei's head began to hurt. A sharp, piercing pain. A sharp pain in his head. How much time had passed? He wasn't sure. But he did notice when Ace strode through the door again. His smile was more of a smirk, and he had the air of a man who knew more than his opponent. Oh, well, there was something I wanted to check, if you don't mind. Yeah? What's that? Oh, pardon me. With no warning, Ace slipped his hand into the pocket of Junpei's vest. Hey! What the hell are you doing? He reached for Ace's arm. But it was already too late. In the older man's hand were the pieces of paper Junpei had balled up and hidden in his pocket. Just as I thought. You switched them, didn't you? When we voted. Oh, well, can't say that I care. I managed to get through the numbered door I wanted, despite your mischief. Why did you... Oh, simply curiosity. Hope you won't think ill of me for it. Ace smiled, gave Junpei a friendly pat on the shoulder, then turned on his heel and left. It was a small defeat, but it was a defeat nonetheless. Junpei had lost the upper hand, and he knew it. He could feel his stomach begin to tense. Well, all right. We got the pocket watch. Let's look at some charts. A world map with the Atlantic Ocean in the center. There's a number of red pins in several locations. What do these red pins mean, I wonder? Well, the nautical charts I picked up earlier have a map like this one. Maybe one of them matches up to the pins or something? Let's see. Oh, what do you know? Looks like this one's a match to the pins. Okay, so we've got 7 locations connected by straight lines. And each one has a word next to it. That's probably the speed. Woohoo! New material's been added to the file screen. Let's check. So we have digital routes, medical records. Ooh, the ship's log. Let's read. A ship's log was found in the chart room. The following is written on the last page. We leave soon for a new journey across the sea. After leaving port, we headed south and west. We turned southwest to steer around the continent, then proceeded northwest. We made port, then changed our heading east for a time, and are now heading due north. Soon we will dock in the United Kingdom, the homeland of this vessel. Oh, hey, thanks, Captain. You're welcome. In the nautical table. Alright, so this looks like to be the journey that the captain just described, with a full, half, then slow, full, half, dead, and then a stop. Cool, alright, awesome. Well, we'll probably need that later for a puzzle, I bet, so... But I don't think there's much else in this room. Let's pop over to the wheelhouse. Neato. A compass. It appears to be broken, however. You see, the glass covering it has been smashed to pieces. Oh, that's no good. Oh, this isn't good. So many drawers, but nothing inside of them. Hey, there's another room on the other side of this window. That's neat. Oh, that's the drawer I was in earlier. Okay, cool. You've connected the pair. This way, perhaps? Oh, hey, look at that. An engine order telegraph. And they use this on old ships to adjust the speed of the ship. Like the gear shift in a car? Well, it's a little different. The device doesn't connect directly to the engine. In short, it's a transmitter. The navigation officer uses it to set the speed of the ship, and it sends a signal to the engine. There's a handle on top of it, which can be moved back and forth to... Oh, wait, hold on. Huh? There's no handle. Oh, you're right. There isn't. Looks as though it was deliberately removed. Okay. What over here? Oh, there's a compass. And what destiny does it point us to? I really hope you don't think you sounded cool. Ugh. Just destroying Ace, one shot at a time. Trying to get our win back, I see, Junpei. A steering wheel. Well, let's see if it... Whoa! Looks like the steering wheel moves. So it would seem. I noticed something else as well. Well, what's that? Well, when you move this wheel, the compass also moves. Well, what do you mean? The ship, it's moving. Ha! Oh, I tricked you, didn't I? The wheel and the compass must be connected to one another somehow. Do you think that's important? Well, let's try turning it again. Okay, sweet. So we have our directions from our chart earlier. Let's give it a go. First, south. And stop. Woohoo! And then we went west. And stop. Then we went southwest, a quick stop. Then we went northwest. Oh. Haha. Finally, we went east. And then we went north. Hey. What the? The handle came off. Heh. Stooping so low, are you, Zero? Well, we got a handle. Neat. Handle that came off the steering wheel. A handle. Nothing interesting with the handle. But okay, cool. Let's pop back to the... Oh. This room is just like the other one. The metal plates bolted over the windows. Heck, not just bolted. Looks like these were welded on. No way in hell we're going to get these off anytime soon. So, I sure hope this handle fits. Yes, it does fit. Excellent. That would allow us to operate the engine order telegraph. Let's give it a shot. Alright, so last time, from the captain's words, we have full, half, then a slow, then full again, then half, then we slow dead, and then finally we stop. Huh? Well, that's weird. I thought if I put in the right speeds... Did I mess up? No, I don't think so. Look. Something happened on the back wall of the wheelhouse. Oh, yeah, you're right. Let's check it out. Let us check it out indeed. Hey! There's like a timer thing. A digital scoreboard? Or something like that. On the left side, it's got the names of the ports that the ship will stop along its route. The last line then says 10 seconds past 3 o'clock. That must be the estimated time of arrival at the final port. Oh, perhaps. Whoa, what's he doing? Oh, excuse me, Junpei. Hey, he just took the pocket watch. Hey, what the hell are you doing? Oh, just trust me. Well, it should be fine now. Well, thanks for giving me back the pocket watch, but you don't need to look so smug about it. Let's see what he... Oh, he moved the hands. 10 seconds past 3 o'clock. So you, changed the hands to match the final arrival time. Ace nodded slowly. You know what to do next, right? Give it a shot. Well, you heard him. Let's give it a shot. To the door with the cool indent. Looks like it's some sort of lock. It's got a weird shaped indent on it. Actually, it's shaped just like the pocket watch I've got. Let's put this in there. Hey, look at that. Yes! It says open now. Oh, good work. Seems you were successful. Well done, Junpei. Hey, Clover! What? Look, we unlocked the door. Now we can get out of this room. Oh. Well, let's go then. Clover? Let's get on out of here, shall we? Whoa. You found it. All right. The space they found themselves in, outside of the wheelhouse, was far too narrow to be called a hallway. On their left was a wooden door. Junpei pushed it open and stepped into the room beyond. It was full of all manner of turn-of-the-century electronic equipment. Most of them were things they'd never seen before. They had no idea what they might have been, let alone how to operate them. One smaller machine had a metal bar that ended in a circular handle. Ace seemed to recognize it. Ah, yes, a telegraph key. These were used to transmit Morse code a long time ago. He turned and slowly took in the room. This must be the communications office. Across the room from the door they'd entered through was another door. A metal plaque was nailed to it. It read, Captain's Quarters. The Captain's Quarters? That's what it says. Then do you think... I'm Zero, the captain of this ship. He swallowed. Junpei could feel his hands begin to sweat. Only Clover seemed undefected. Well, we won't know if we don't open it. She walked up to the door and put her hand on the knob. It opened easily, and without so much as a pause, she walked in. Junpei and Ace followed. First thing they saw was a man on the floor, covered in blood. Junpei felt his body seize up. His mouth went dry, and he felt very, very cold. The blood in his veins slowed to a crawl, and his heart tightened like a fist. This was the third time he'd seen the horror of death laid out before him. He didn't think it was something he could stand to see much more of. Still, he had begun to accept that whatever it was that he saw, whatever happened to him, was beyond his control, and whatever force controlled him was driven by a determination that he could not hope to match. A sense of helplessness, of desperation washed over him. It left behind a feeling of utter emptiness that wormed its way through his body like acid. Then he realized they needed to check the man's pulse. Perhaps he was still alive. Fueled by that spark of hope, Junpei ran to the man's body, and his heart fell. His fingers on the man's neck felt no pulse. His pupils had dilated, and he wasn't breathing. Junpei lifted the man's already stiff body. There was a deep, red wound on his chest. Junpei did not have to wonder long at what could have made such a wound. For lying next to the corpse was an axe. The entire blade of it was drenched in bright, red blood. For the shape of the man's wound, there could be no doubt it had been made by that axe. Junpei looked at the body again. A lake of blood stretched around it. It was wearing the clothes of a ship's captain, although they were stained with blood. A captain? That mean that this man was Zero? On his left hand was a bracelet. The number on the bracelet was 0. It was only then that Junpei noticed the stench of blood that filled the room. He couldn't help but laugh. There was nothing else for him to say. It was too simple, Too obvious. Too straightforward. If there hadn't been a dead man on the floor, Junpei might have thought it was a joke. Oh, shoot. All right. Time to seek a way out one more time. Let's go again. All right. Welcome to the captain's quarters. We got a camera, chair, cool little monitor setup, it looks like. Let's look around, shall we? Camcorder. It looks like it's pointed at the door. Well, the power's on. Why would someone want to videotape a door, though? That's a good question. There's blood on that chair. You think this was the dead guy's? Yeah, probably. Oh, hey, there's a lamp. It's a lamp, but it doesn't turn on. I don't think there's anything special about it. I think you're right. Oh, hey, a music box. Oh, it's one of those old music boxes. How about we wind it up? Oh, why does it sound like that? Is it broken? The pins on the cylinder are shaped all funny. I don't think those are pins. It looks like something someone put on top of it. I think we're going to have to take it apart to figure out what's going on, don't you? All right, we'll have to take it apart then, I guess. A bed. There's nothing in it, though. Fair. Hey, we got some spooky monitors. This screen shows what happened at the central staircase on B deck. Okay. A drawer. There's nothing inside, though. Oh, snap, look at this. What's the deal with this? Is it some kind of code? There are 4 rows of numbers and letters. They all started with 0 and end with 8, F, N, and V, respectively. Maybe this is something to do with the number bases? Maybe. New material has been added to the file screen. This one shows the central staircase on C deck. Neat. There's a bunch of weird buttons on here. Probably switch what you see on the screens. Do you know how to work this thing? Why don't we just push one of these? Like this one. Well, I guess it does change the... What the hell is this? Hey, isn't this the door on the screen, the one right behind us? You're right. So whatever camera sees is sent to the screen in real time. I wonder if that means something, you know? And then we got Z-E-R-O on these other ones. Fun. Heh. Junpei started with grim humor for the second time he'd come into this room. The 4 screens along the bottom row had a single letter each, spelling out Z-E-R-O. Junpei felt as though he was being mocked. The real villain was somewhere, laughing at him. What do you think? He turned to Clover, who was standing next to him. Her voice was almost too low to hear. Nothing. It seemed that she cared about little. Of course, Junpei could hardly blame her. Given the strain she was surely under, Junpei was somewhat surprised she had responded at all. Still, he had to ask. He gestured towards the corpse. What about him? Do you think that's really 0? Clover shook her head weakly. There's no way that's him. Didn't I tell you already? 0 is one of us. Yeah, you're right. I know it's important to figure out who this guy is, but... Don't you think we should figure out how to get out of here first? But... Please? I don't want to waste any more time. Clover looked miserable, as if she could start crying at any moment. Junpei just didn't have the heart to tell her no. All right, sure thing. Was his mind playing tricks on him? Junpei wondered. For a moment, he could have sworn he'd seen Clover smile. Whatever. Well, all right, let us head on out of this room then. Ooh, what do we got here? Hey, look at that. Some small screwdrivers. We can use that. And some ink. Ooh, excellent, excellent. Now then, we can go over here. What's in this drawer? Hey, there's a piece of paper. Hey, what's this? It's a blank. There's nothing written on it. Sweet. Well, it's item combine time. Alright, this screwdriver ought to make short work of this music box. And then we can combine this with some ink. I guess I'll put the ink on the cylinder? Hey, we take that dirty cylinder, and we'll just roll it across this piece of paper. And if I'm right, the ink should. Woohoo! We got a Morse code chart. Let's rock. Looks like, though, that drawer is the only thing that's locked. I don't see a keyhole, though. An electronic lock, perhaps? Take a look at the left side of the drawer. Yeah, there's some cables over there. That must mean... Oh, yes. To solve the little mystery we got going on here. Let's give it a shot, shall we? Alright, I got the Morse code I'm supposed to enter. If we do this right, something will happen. I hope. Alright, let's give this a shot. Dot, 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 long, long, dot, 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 long, dot, 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 long, 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 dot, dot. Hey, we got it. Excellent. That's the last one. And yes! Excellent work, Junpei. Good job. Seem to have figured it out. You've unlocked the drawer. Phew. Alright. Let's get what's in that drawer then. Oh, there's a thing. Oh, and a thing underneath the thing. A red file lay in the drawer. Junpei reached down and picked it up. The cover read, All Ice. But was that supposed to say all ice? There wasn't a space between the L and the I. Were they trying to say all ice was a single word? It was an interesting thought, but it left Junpei's mind quickly as he opened it. The file, what lay inside, was far more interesting and far more confusing. Each page was covered in strange characters. They looked like tiny drawings of birds, snakes, insects, horned animals, wings, and even kneeling humans. There were many pages in the file, and each was full of these strange symbols. What the hell is this? He didn't realize he'd spoken out loud until Ace looked over at him. They are hieroglyphics, a form of writing used in ancient Egypt. Ancient Egypt? That's right. Can you read them? Of course. I can't. What would make you think I could? What the hell, man? Junpei flipped through a few more pages. It wasn't just one or two pages that were covered in strange characters. Every single page was covered in them. Trying to read them was pointless. Junpei wasn't going to waste any more time with them. He made to close the file when something fell out. He bent down and picked it up. A key card? There was a symbol on it that reminded Junpei of the symbols for the Saturn and the Mercury key cards. This one, however, had a dot in the center of the male symbol. Ah, Uranus. That's the Uranus symbol. Junpei looked over to see Ace examining the card. In addition to the Uranus symbol, there were 3 words engraved on the card as well. On the lower right, it said Bottom Deck Library. Was the bottom deck a library? Whatever might be there, however, would have to wait. At the moment, there was nothing Junpei could do. He gripped the keycard tighter and shoved it deep into his pocket. Woohoo! New material has been added to the file screen. I also got this doohickey. A unique key of sorts. Let's give it a look. Pop through the store. Alright. Over to the camera. Toss this on in. Control panel for the electronic lock. Looks like it's got a keyhole in the bottom right. Maybe the key I got earlier? Oh, sweet. Just had to put the key in and now it's on. Junpei, look. There's a minus sign on the screen. And there's 8 of them. Probably means we gotta put in 8 digits. Do you think you can figure it out? Yes, I do. Let's give it a go, shall we? 8 digits, huh? Once I put in the 8-digit number, I just gotta press E to enter it. And if I mess up, I guess I press C. Alright, let's give it a shot. Sweet. So, with this thing, I believe we have to enter in 0. However, we need to do it in base 9 plus 26, so in base 35. However odd that sounds. So, let's type it in, shall we? So Z in base 35 would be 35. E is 9 plus 5, so 14. Let's see. R would be 9 plus 18, so 27. And then O is just 3 away from that, so 24. Enter. Yes! We got it! Yeah! It worked! Oh, good job, Junpei! Excellent. You seem to have unlocked it. Good work, Junpei. All right, let's go. Well, you heard him. Let's get out of here. Whew. We found it. Again. They stepped out of the captain's quarters and into another hallway. The hallway stretched out in front of Junpei for a bit, before turning left like a great backwards L. Junpei rounded the corner and took off down the straightaway. He ran, and ran, and ran. At the end of the hallway was a door. He made straight for it. He was nearly halfway to it when he noticed a small piece of paper in the middle of the floor. What was this piece of paper doing in the middle of the hallway? Junpei skidded to a halt. He dropped down to his hands and knees and quickly tore the paper off the floor. Now that he had the chance to examine it more closely, it was clear that it was a map. More specifically, a map of the ship's interior for A deck. What's wrong? Ace, slightly slower by virtue of his advanced age, had finally caught up to Junpei. Junpei said nothing and simply showed Ace what he had found. He looked at it long enough to determine what it was and nodded. I see. With that, he began running again, past Junpei. Junpei shoved the map into his pocket and got up to follow Ace, but something stopped him. Hey, where's Clover? He turned around. Clover was nowhere to be seen. Damn it, what the hell's she up to? Junpei muttered angrily under his breath and took off back the way he'd come. As he humped around the corner, he saw her. She was standing in front of the door to the captain's quarters, her hand on the doorknob. As Junpei watched, she closed it, and gently and quietly. What the hell are you doing? Nothing. What do you mean, nothing? Clover had unconsciously put her hands over her pockets of the jacket, as if trying to hide something. What the hell's that? What? You've got something in your pocket. What is it? Oh, this? Oh, this is... I wonder. What the hell? Oh, come on, we gotta hurry. With that, Clover ran straight past a somewhat confused Junpei. As she did, he caught a glimpse of her back. Sticking up from her collar was something that looked like a wooden stick. Hey, Clover, what the hell's that thing on your back? She didn't respond. Instead, she quickly turned the corner and disappeared. Junpei did his best to convince himself that it would make sense later, and he ran after Clover. Junpei pushed through the door and found himself in a large room with a large set of stairs. It was what Junpei had expected to see after reading the map. His I see after reading the map himself meant that Ace had probably realized the same thing. Junpei looked around, but Ace was nowhere to be seen. He put his hands on the handrail and leaned over to look down. There he was. And not just Ace. Santa, June, Seven, and Lotus as well. Junpei and Clover glanced at each other and hurried down the stairs. They reached B deck at the same time. Jumpy! Clover! June's face was excited. Something had happened. That much Junpei could tell by looking at her. What's up? Given their situation, she was not inclined to be excited about sudden developments. June, however, couldn't contain herself. We found it! Found what? We found it! What did you find? The last door! We found door 9! What? Oh, come on, just follow us. We'll explain on the way. Oh, okay, let's go. Junpei turned and jogged off down the stairs. The rest followed. We finally made it. The relief and excitement in her voice echoed what each one of them had felt. Yeah, it's finally time. Junpei wasn't quite ready to believe they'd really done it, at least not just yet. Still, if everyone said it was door 9, then it probably was. He could feel his heart racing. A mixture of anticipation and fear ran through his veins, and he could feel his legs shaking. He was doing his best to maintain a sense of healthy skepticism, but he couldn't deny that the prospect of escape was an exciting one. But there was one thing he couldn't get off his mind. The number doors could only accommodate between 3 and 5 people. There were 7 of them on their way to door 9. That meant that even the best case scenario, there'd be 2 of them that would stay behind. 2 people. He didn't have any solutions to that problem yet, but he was desperately hoping one would present itself. Junpei looked over at the clock. The hands indicated that it was 4:30. They had 90 minutes before their time was up. Hey! Junpei! June! What the hell are you 2 doing? Hurry it up! Santa's voice jolted Junpei out of his reverie. Let's go, Junpei. June took off down the stairs, jogging as quickly as she could. Junpei followed. They were quiet for a while, until they just reached C deck when Clover spoke. Hey, what about door 2? Everyone else stopped. They all turned to look at Clover. It was Seven who spoke. What about door 2? Door 2 is the only one we haven't gone through it yet, I mean. Yes, that is true. Are you guys okay with that? Not investigating it, I mean? So what? We found door 9. We don't need any other doors. What's the point? What's the point in going to door 9? Oh? We can't all go through it, can we? Then what should we do? Then we should do what we have to do before going any further. It's like a jigsaw puzzle. The best way to finish it quickly is to do the border pieces first. You know? Or what? Do you think all 7 of us should go to door 9? Then we can argue over who stays behind and who gets to go? Do we really want to do that again? Who knows? If we check out door 2, maybe we'll find something. Maybe we can find a way to get all of us out. I don't know what might be in there. We might not find anything, but don't you think it'd be better to at least have a look? I mean, am I wrong? Does that sound wrong to you guys? Yeah, you got a point. The others nodded in agreement. Last time I checked the clock, it was 4:30. It's not like we got a lot of time, but if we're quick about it, we might have time to take a look. You're right. Let's go take a look at door 2. They were back in front of the elevator. Nearby was a large hospital room. The elevator could take them down to door 2. After a few minutes of discussion, they decided that Clover, Santa, June, and Seven would go. 4 plus 3 plus 6 plus 7 equals 20. 2 plus 0 equals 2. All right, let's get going. I'll see you later. Okay, be careful. They climbed into the elevator, and Junpei listened to it creak and rattle its way to the bottom deck. Only Junpei, Ace, and Lotus were left. As the elevator rumbled out of sight, Ace spoke. Lotus, would you be so kind as to go with me? Go with you? I don't think people still talked that way outside of the 1950s. Well, I'm a mother. Would that be a problem for you? That wasn't what I meant to. I was hoping you'd just come with me. Oh, ha 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 ha. Oh, seriously though, I was kidding. So, where was it you wanted to take me? Well, there's something I wanted to show you. Hey man, what the hell? I'm not important enough? Well, it's not like that. Once I've shown Lotus, I'll show you. Really? Oh, of course. Ace's smile was friendly. Fine. Do whatever you want. Oh, thank you. Are you coming, Lotus? Fine. It doesn't look like they'll be going to be back anytime soon. I might as well go see whatever it is you think is so important. Oh, thank you. Well then, shall we go? Ace turned and began to walk. Lotus followed. They disappeared into the hallway on the left. Junpei wasn't sure how long they'd been gone for when the elevator suddenly opened. A single person stood there. Clover. She looked at Junpei, then slowly, purposely, stepped out of the elevator. The door closed behind her. Where's everybody else? What happened? She didn't answer. Instead, her eyes swept the room and settled on Junpei. Where are Ace and Lotus? Junpei explained what had happened. Oh, then they went over there? Her voice was small and timid. Yeah, I guess so. He repeated his earlier question. So where are June, Santa, and Seven? Why aren't they with you? You really want to know? There was something wrong with her smile. Yeah? Okay. Sure. Here, let me show you. Clover pulled something out of her pocket and tossed it on the floor at Junpei's feet. He looked down. On the floor in front of him were 3 metal rings. Bracelets. Oh my God. Holy shit! Junpei collapsed. No way. This has got to be some kind of joke. This can't be real. Junpei's body felt like rubber. His heart felt like a cold lump in his chest, and his hand shook uncontrollably. Sweat poured down his face. The 3 bracelets sat there on the floor before him. He could see the numbers on their faces. 3, 7, and 6.
Lastly, let us discuss how to remove the bracelets. There are only 2 ways to do so. 1, you escape from this ship. 2, your heart rate reaches 0. In other words, once the bracelet is taken outside the confines of this ship, or detects that its wearer's heartbeat has fallen to 0, it will shut down automatically.
But why? Junpei's voice was flat and broken. Clover's response was cold. Revenge for my brother. He was forced into door 3 and murdered. You need at least 3 people to open the door. Who were the 2 that opened the door with him? It could only have been Santa and Seven. That's why I killed them. 2 plus 3 plus 7 equals 12. 1 plus 2 equals 3. But why? Why did you kill June? Because she tried to protect them. She was in my way. She had to die, too. No! Junpei shook his head, trying desperately to wake himself up from what had to be a dream. It couldn't be real. It just couldn't. Hey, Junpei. He felt Clover's hand on his shoulder. Her smile was wrong, horribly wrong. Her face looked like a mask made of stretched human skin. The smile that parted her lips did not extend to her eyes. They were dead and empty. The girl in front of him was no longer the Clover he had known. Perhaps she was not even human. Let's go. Her hand reached out towards him. Let's get out of here. Let's leave this ship. What the hell are you talking about? To open a numbered door, you... Yes, I know. You need at least 3 people. But as long as we have this... Once again, Clover reached into her pocket and pulled something out. It was another bracelet. Junpei could see the number on its face. 0. 0. You've got something in your pocket. What is it? Oh, this? This is... See? You get it now? If we have the 0 bracelet, we can leave. You and I can open door 9 with just the 2 of us. 4 plus 5 plus 0 equals 9. See? So let's go. Come on. Hurry up. She shoved out her hand again. Junpei looked up at Clover. She had the face of a demon. But there was something else. There was a holy light that surrounded her. She was both a fierce god and a benevolent goddess filled with love. Junpei. Her voice was soft. Her eyes weren't empty anymore. They were deep, oh so deep. Junpei could feel himself falling into them. He felt dizzy. There was something oddly bewitching about her. His mind was beginning to crack and his heart began to melt. Junpei. The hand she was offering him, it looked so soft, so inviting. Junpei reached out with his own trembling hand and closed it over hers. Junpei writhed in agony. He shuddered and twitched, his body spasming as he went into shock. He screamed until his throat was torn and bloody, then screamed more. His cries echoed across the room. Eventually, his movement slowed, then faded. There was no more strength left in Junpei. He could feel his body begin to go numb. He no longer felt pain. He no longer felt anything. Whatever Junpei had been was gone. The last remnants of his mind began to fade. Even as his vision faded into nothingness, he saw Clover. Thanks, Junpei. I'm just going to borrow this, Kay? Her smile was cold. What was left of Junpei's conscious mind drifted away. All that was left was a twisted, broken corpse. Bad end. Well, all right. We seems to have gotten another ending. So I think next time we'll pick it back up. It sounds like door 6 and door 1 were both horrible options. So I think we will resume with door number 2 and see if that goes any better for us. Anyway, this is Scotty J signing off. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Oh, nice. An axe. All right. See ya.